Century Broadcasting.
Any ideas?
I say we try the liquor store next. I could get a short dog for the car.
What did you make of McCaffrey?
There'll come a day, and it's coming very soon. We'll run him and the rest of his pinko buddies out of Los Angeles.
Samantha's a suspect, Rusty.
Any Century unit, a possible 415 at Alvera Street Plaza, unit to handle code 3, identify.
What can I do for you?
LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're making inquiries into the murder of Evelyn Summers.
Evelyn? She's dead?
You knew Evelyn Summers, Mr.
Robbins. Yes, I knew Evelyn. I was a good friend of her ex-husband. She kept some of her stuff here.
Can you show us, please?
Sure. Come this way.
With things so high, I better make it 2 million.
Say, that's a pretty girl dressed in that nurse's aid uniform.
You know what he look like?
You got some fine stock here, Mr. Robbins.
Jane Wyman.
You know, you let us take some for the road, this case might get solved a lot quicker.
He's joking, Mr. Robbins.
She kept a bed here, but I probably shouldn't have let her. An alcoholic in a liquor store. That was never going to work out, was it?
We'll take a look around. She wasn't always such a loner. Evelyn was reading Aristotle?
Evelyn wasn't stupid. The only stupid thing about her was her need to drink.
And she was borrowing books from Grosvenor McCaffrey. I'm guessing Evelyn hadn't held down a job for quite some time before she was killed.
When exactly did Evelyn work in the pictures?
A few years ago. She worked in legal copyrights for music.
Rawlings Bowling Alley. Maybe Evelyn did something other than drink in her spare time. We're trying to account for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit? To pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
Where am I? Where am I? You're in a hospital. In a hospital? Let me out of here. But I'm your nurse. Keep me in here. How'd I get in the hospital? Don't you know? Now, don't
to start, Rockney.
Here comes your doctor.
Any idea where the money came from?
She didn't mention it, but she did say the booze was a present for a boy. She said they had been fighting and she had to make it up to him.
Were you and Evelyn close, Mr. Robbins?
Not many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
We got the impression that Evelyn had been sleeping rough of late.
It became difficult for me to have her staying here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow. She's old now. And to be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on.
Do you know a friend of Evelyn's by the name of McCaffrey?
Not personally.
Why would you suggest we do, Doctor? Well, we might as well operate. What have we got to lose? Yeah, just me, that's all, that's all.
We're struggling for leads, Robbins. Did she know McCaffrey?
She idolized him. From what I gathered, the feeling was far from mutual. He seems to peddle a revolutionary stance, fixing the ills of society. You could see how it would appeal to down-and-outs like Evelyn.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Robbins.
No problem. Hey, I'd like to make arrangements for the funeral. You think I could get in touch with Evelyn's mother?
Put in a call to the watch commander at Central Station, Mr. Robbins. He'll be trying to reach the next of kin.
Thanks. Get the guy, huh? Evelyn never hurt anybody.
Doctors, do you know what this patient is suffering from?
Well, if you ask me, I think it's wrong diagnosis and floating dialect.
How do you operate?
Car 11K, Car 11K, come in. Car 11K, Car 11K, KGPL.
11 King.
The message from Captain Donnelly, return to Central, go to.
11 King, in or out? Let's not keep the man waiting, Phelps.
To an interesting situation. You wake up in the morning feeling weak. It could be a deficiency of iron. Iron you need for healthy blood and bones. That's why it's time to rise and shine. Yes, rise and shine. Yes, keeps your body physically fit.
KGPL to all units. Citizen reports man with a gun. Union and Rockwood Street. Union and Rockwood Street. Unit to handle code 2. Identify.
Natural source of nutrients. Physician studies show 3 out of 4 women lack sufficient iron. If you are losing weight, feeling run down, weak, or easily upset, get the vigor and depth relief by using Rise and Shine Peaks. And by taking Rise and Shine Peaks tablet supplements, it helps regain strength and needed balance to feel and do your best. Bring your grocery to your dentist and say, Rise and Shine, please. We now return you to the
Captain is downstairs with Ray Pinker.
And Carruthers.
Yeah, I want to make homicide. You know, you've got it made if you can get to that desk.
2 peanuts are walking down the street. One was assaulted.
What's this about, Captain?
Ray and Mal have some concerns over the Henry and Muller cases, which I don't want aired outside of this room.
The evidence is solid, Captain.
I agree, Rusty. It's just that corpses keep piling up.
Copycats.
I've been banging the same drum. But the notes and the lipstick messages.
Evelyn Summers, Cartel Classic Carmine. Each woman, same brand, same color.
Teresa Terrelson didn't have a lipstick message.
Technically, you're right, Rusty. She didn't have any lipstick. But she did have a message. We found it beneath her dress, scraped with a sharp stick.
What did it say?
You sure you want to know?
Ray?
As far as we can be sure, it said cunt BD.
That's one way of looking at it.
Looking at what?
Cunt is all about access, Phelps. You're married, so yours is mortgaged. Some of us like to pay by installments. This guy doesn't like to pay at all.
Why are you so angry, Mal?
Because I just had to fire one of my assistants. He was a friend of Jameson's. God knows what he might have been up to.
Captain, we have good leads in the Summers case, but it's up to you to decide how we proceed.
Keep this under your hat for now. And follow up on Evelyn Summers. I want daily reports.
We got our orders. Back to the Summers case. Get an address for McCaffrey. He'll have blown the bar. I'll meet you outside.
Mouthpiece tore strips off me at the grand jury. Case got thrown out. Now the DA wants my head.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address for a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Apartment 6, 126 Yale Street, between Ord and Alpine.
Thank you.
Hey, I gave his wife a tap. I said all's fair in love and war. But the minimum wage is $12.
Let me pose a question. Depends. What's it got to do with it? Morals. Would it bother you to put the wrong person away?
Depends.
On what?
On whether anyone except the poor son of a bitch in the Slam River found out.
On the reverse side, the steamship Ratnik waits in Montreal to repatriate 500 Yugoslavs who prefer to try life under Tito. They're not leaving empty-handed. Among them, they have pooled $1 million for the purchase of some rather exclusive commodities. Whether or not life in the
All units also detail 415 and shots fired, 313 Bunker Hill Avenue, 313 Bunker Hill Avenue, unit to handle code 3 identified.
Capitol Records presents Marcia Tilton with her lovely tune, That's My Desire.
Hello, Rusty. 2 on your usual lane?
I'm Detective Phelps. Homicide.
You must be new. What's your shoe size?
This is business, Florence. You got a guy works here by the name of Tiernan?
Sure we do. He's a pin setter. Clears the jams, works the gutters. Go right in. He'll be hopping around the lanes toward the back. He's a nice boy.
Thanks, ma'am. Let's go get him.
That cherry pie was delicious.
Tiernan! LAPD! There!
What are you waiting for? Get after him!
We might go faster if we weren't carrying the extra weight. These are flashy cars to be parked outside a bowling alley.
The lanes attract a fast-living individual with money to burn.
Or a middle-aged individual with the need to feel virile.
I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck. Hit him, Cole. Spin him out. Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close. Another runner. Well, at least we've got a suspect.
Why do they always run? I'm sure we've got the wrong person in more than one of these homicides, but they always seem to lam it.
You know, your theories are not airtight by any means. Hit it! Clean this asshole off the road.
If this isn't the killer, we can at least get him for reckless endangerment.
That's unless he runs into a wall and saves us all the trouble. He's going through the square.
I hope the people see him in time to get out of the way. What if they run because someone's setting them up? Because they feel like the deck is stacked against them.
Don't make up ridiculous stories for them, detective. Leave that to the perp's imagination. That is the end of that. About fucking time.
Hands behind your head.
That event caused the way she came and went.
KGPL to any unit. The citizen reports suspicious activity 111 South Alameda. Stand by for any Central unit.
Hey, come on! You're a different man in front of the captain.
McCaffrey's in apartment 6. Doesn't look like anybody's home.
Terrible shame. Means there's nobody to let us in. You want to do the honors, Phelps?
Junk.
said he didn't know her. And we have the book.
Let's see Carruthers argue his way out of this one.
Is that you, Grosvenor? Who are you guys? What are you doing in
We're
here?
from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I'm his neighbor. Is he in trouble?
Look, lady, we need to find him, and in a hurry. Are you gonna give me trouble?
He has a pigeon coop up on the roof. He spends his mornings up there when he's been drinking.
How do we get up there?
Down the hall and up the stairs.
Drunk and in command of a carrier pigeon. Surely we can write him up for that. A citation, at least.
Grosvenor McCaffrey!
Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk.
I'm looking on wheels.
You a runner, McCaffrey? Stay and fight the good fight.
There he is. See him?
Give it up, LAPD.
McCaffrey, you're under arrest on suspicion of murdering Evelyn Summers.
We need to get downtown and wrap this thing up. It's got to be McCaffrey. Unless Tiernan set him up. I don't think that asshole Jameson. Now, whoever was that guy.
How do you know that McCaffrey didn't do the dogging?
We have a list of over 200 suspects. His name was never on it.
If you think the list is exhaustive, Rusty, who am I to argue?
Listen, let's just work the case out, shall we? Then we... Jesus, Phelps! Listen, let's just work the case at hand, shall we? Then we can sit down and put all the puzzle pieces together in the evening.
I'll hold you to that.
You sure you can make it stick with one of these suspects, gentlemen?
It's either McCaffrey or Tiernan, sir. I think Jameson is an aberration.
All right. I'll deal with that degraded lunatic myself. He's got some fearful retribution coming. Tiernan isn't one, McCaffrey isn't two. I want a confession from one of them. Don't fail me, young Phelps.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
No.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
You left at midnight, correct? Isn't there anything else you can do? That's right.
Sounds like half an...
That bum took a swipe at him, put him down in my sack.
Is the captain there?
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Keep lying to me and I'll have you charged and in front of a grand jury before your feet touch the ground.
How can you possibly prove Evelyn and I were more than friends?
What the hell is the LAPD up to these days? And now you want me to lie. I ain't talking to you. Look. Does this mean I lose my life? I have faith in the Lord. Do you, senor? No. You don't know about the insurance money I take it. You know anything about this man?
You should let me go now. I've done nothing wrong.
Can I post this down? Can you give me a copy? Isn't there anything else you can do?
You're off the hook, for now.
I'm a red. I stopped the crack. Is that so wrong? What the hell is the LAPD up to?
Is this truth?
You don't ask, you never find out. She was old enough to be your mother.
What the fuck?
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
You'll have to do better than that, Grosvenor. We know about you and Evelyn.
Evelyn was a lush, and a boring one at that. You can't link her to me.
We know that you thought enough of her to loan out your copy of the Metaphysics.
I what? I did no such thing. That bitch stole that book from my apartment. The impudent fucking moron.
And that made you angry?
Angry? I was livid. Looking up at me with that stupid face of hers, begging me to forgive her. Aha. Very good. That's one to you, detective.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there? You're going to have to do better.
Fucking assholes. You know what? I'm just gonna save this off for tomorrow.